This video provides an overview of new features released in Trimble Business Center version 380. For those that are new to TBC, we are a complete survey software enabling field-to-finish workflows with confidence. Here you can see how the additions and modules of TBC are designed to fit any survey professional needs. Among some of the most notable features in TBC 380, we want to emphasize the new member of Trimble Total Station family, the Trimble SX10, which is the new scanning total station and accompanying scanning module in Trimble Business Center that is focusing on working with the SX10 and other third-party laser scanning data with the improved point cloud workflows focused on productivity. We have opened TBC up to third-party instruments, so now you can import data from all of your mixed fleets and see them inside Trimble Business Center and work to produce your deliverables. And we have emphasized on our complete field to finish story, including more CAD modeling and drafting capabilities in this release, enhanced by customized reporting. TBC version 380 was released on November 7th for our Dimensions event and incorporates over 50 new features and one new module, scanning module we just mentioned, with the build date of November 1st of 2016. So if you have a warranty that expires prior to this date, please contact your Trimble distributor and extend your warranty so you can get your newest Trimble Business Center version. We will start with data review and editing. You can now import total station and GNSS data from any ASCII file format. You simply drag and drop your data into Trimble Business Center. We have a script that runs in the background that converts essentially your file into a JXL. To give you a head start, we have enabled some of the formats listed here below, but if you have an ASCII file from any non-Trimble total station on RTK system, you can essentially program your own script using Python and bring that data inside Trimble Business Center. By accepting the third-party instruments, we expand the range of raw sensor data that can be imported inside Trimble Business Center today. And as you can see, quote from one of our users, the implementation of third-party support is key to ensuring project integrity throughout its duration. So we want to enable you to effectively bring all of your geospatial sensor data inside Trimble Business Center and work in producing deliverables from those data sets. We also brought back capability that a lot of you have missed since the days of Trimble Geomatics Office, and that is customized reporting, allowing you efficient project communication, bringing some additional flexibility through reducing rework and automation. So what we have done is by using a simple add-on to Microsoft Word, we can now connect Word with the Trimble Business Center, and in Word you can simply drag and drop fields where you want your data to come. And you can see here in the example on the right, control point report with the media file, with the placeholder tables for different fields coming from Trimble Business Center. And with one swift command, you can generate a large number of reports and automate this process going forward, eliminating any copy pasting in order to create reports like shown here. At this point, we have the ability to customize the reports shown here. So control points, do a control points comparison, combine baseline processing with network adjustment. You can do earthworks and point report and boundary surveys as staked and RTK vector and other reports. One of the more requested functionality from Trimble Business Center was ability to easy move data that has been surveyed out in the field. So for those of you that are coming from Terra model days, you were used to the workflow where you would disconnect the survey point from the database and then move it. So in this case, you would select your point, and you can see here there's a survey point with the accompanying total station vector. You can right click and say move survey point, and in the command on the right you would see the amount for which you are moving the point, and simply say where you want to move the point, and What happens is essentially we insert an office center grid coordinate on top of that newly selected location, and we add in bracket for that point a statement that it has been moved, and you can see another office center grid coordinate. If you disable that coordinate, your final point position will go back to where the original vector was pointing at. We allow you now to move data without really changing any of the properties of your original data, so you can always restore and see where that point has been measured to in the field. Also, in addition to measuring distance, angles, inverses, you can now measure points. This is very useful, especially when you're working with point clouds. You can select any point in the point cloud and get 3D coordinates of the point. You can store that measurement and see it in the Project Explorer as a stored measurement. And this allows you to see the 3D location without having to create a CAD point at a certain location. You can now also bring Google Earth data to Trimble Business Center by importing KML and KMZ files. We support point lines and polygons as well as attributes. You wouldn't get the raster map from the Google Earth, but you would get all the geometry that helps you visualize the project extents and also plan data collection. For example, if you use Google Earth to agree with your client on what area needs to be surveyed, you can bring that boundary inside Trimble Business Center and visualize it there. In addition to that, you can now display background maps in TBC. So this is alternative to exporting to Google Earth. It's very useful for QA/QC, so you can directly load maps from web, and you can see the maps, tiled maps, as shown here behind your CAD geometry and your survey data. If you have a large number of data elements in a single location, in previous versions of TBC, when you select that data, you get a huge number of vectors in the list like this. In TBC version 380, we group those observations. So if you select in a location where there's a lot of points and a lot of vectors coming in, we group those vectors. You don't have to scroll through a huge list of observations just to select your position. On the survey computations and COGO, we have enabled COGO and Map Check closure workflows. This is a very efficient way to create geometry and check for misclosure. We have enabled a scripting language as shown here in the image on the right, where you can simply, by using scripts, type in your lines by bearings and distances, your points, your arcs and angles, and that gives you additional speed and flexibility, as you can also input those in grid versus ground distances. We have added some line and arc methods and computing misclosure and generating reports, and you can see here data that has been entered to TBC using create COGO command with the background map for the reference, and you can see how the created geometry in TBC aligns with the background map, and you can now create coordinate tables in TBC and curve tables and have the complete cadastral map there. We have also enabled the support for the PRJ, so project system or coordinate system definition from shapefile. We don't assume the WGS84 anymore and use the same methodology as in the GIS module, where you have the three options to choose from, whether those coordinate systems are matching, or you have preference to use the coordinate system defined in Trimble Business Center or the one coming from the PRJ file. There's a number of coordinate system manager updates, and for this full list you can refer to our release notes and readme notes. On the feature coding and attribution, we have several exciting changes. The first one is multi-block feature coding. You can now collect complex objects in the field using multiple points. In this example, this car has been collected using both two-point method, and then this green car has been collected using a three-point method. So you can define where your first, second, and third insertion point is going to be, and when you're out in the field you can simply use that 2 or 3 point method, and the block is going to be accurately scaled and rotated to fit your data collection. You can create blocks in TBC, or you can bring those blocks from another CAD package. Creating the FXL inside Feature Definition Manager, you can now do that in a much quicker way. If you're starting from a CSV file where you are trying to bring your feature coding system from another software package, you can now browse to that CSV file and select fields for your point line and the polygon definitions, as well as control codes. This significantly reduces the time necessary to generate that FXL file. In a similar manner, you can export custom FXL files from Trimble Business Center, allowing you to create subsets of FXLs and export an FXL and then use the import custom FXL to merge it with another FXL file, allowing you also to exchange FXLs with other users and export to CAD packages. In the file geodatabase export and shapefile exporter, you can now select those pipeline attributes and get that data into your desired database. We have improved our GIS metadata mapping. So for the fields that have the same name, you can simply use the checkbox, and for all the fields that have a horizontal and vertical precision, for example, those GIS metadata fields will be mapped automatically. For our users in Australia, we have added the support for ADAC with the import and export options, and using the ADAC settings command, you can get your dataset into the desired format. For CAD and drafting, we have enabled a couple of very useful commands focusing on productivity. So for those of you coming from Terra model, you will recognize a lot of these commands. For example, creating line strings from points. So you can provide a selection, or you can provide a range of point IDs, and there's going to be a line string connecting those point IDs. Also, you can make a selection and use the best fit line command to fit the line between those points. You can choose a straight line in 2D or 3D, or a curved line in 2D or 3D as some of your options. First time when you launch a line string command, you don't have to put in the name and layer information. You can just hit enter, and if you have the auto advance button on, if you want to draw everything in a zero elevation, you can just start clicking the plan view for your coordinates. This significantly increases the speed and the way you navigate through the line string creation process. When you reach an end of a line string, you can just hit new and automatically start picking points for a new line string. We have also streamlined the layer creation process. So if you're in the layer field for any CAD objects that you are creating, you can just hit spacebar and it will launch the layer manager in the new field where you can type in the name of the new layer you're creating. For the surface and volumes, we have added some of the metadata such as measure date and color to the surface creation command for easier surface management and data traceability. You can also now compute the intersection between a surface and another CAD object, allowing you to quickly create points for stakeout or machine control, and you can create individual points and line strings simply by specifying surface, starting location, angle, and slope. You can also create copies of surface, so you can essentially create an offset surface by defining the thickness in the material and site improvement manager and applying surface site improvement to a surface and then creating a subgrade surface. For corridors, we have done a lot of work to improve the routing data exchange between Trimble Business Center and Trimble Access. you will notice that there are two exporters that have been added. One is Trimble Access RXL templates, where we have taken the existing RXL road exporter from Surface, and we have reduced a number of options, completely streamlining process and making it easier on the user, and making sure that the number of templates that you have in Trimble Business Center exactly matches the number of templates you get in the field when you get to Trimble Access. And in addition to that, we have created Trimble Access Road Strings Exporter, which is a string-based export format as the command implies, where we create a CRD, which is a GenIO format file, and allows you some of the additional efficiencies when you're in Trimble Access when you're using graphical stakeout. We have also expanded the capabilities of our profile viewer that allows you more flexibility when working with alignments. It allows you to dynamically move the alignment points, vals, and PVIs in the viewer, and you can also create a Dynaview and plot that profile. We have a lot of exciting improvements in point cloud space. We have released a new scanning module that focuses on productivity when you're working with scan data, essentially useful for any server that is working with point cloud data. There are two sets of or two areas of focus capabilities. One is an adjustment where we have added registration, refinement, reporting, georeferencing, and creating scan station. And the second area is automation, focusing on classification, automatic ground extraction, point cloud sampling, converting scan points to CAD points. You can add this to any TBC edition, either base, complete, or advanced, and gain more productivity when you're working with scan data. In the point cloud registration, you can bring in any LAS E57 PTX as well as SX10 data, and what we do is pairwise cloud to cloud adjustment, allowing you to stitch those data sets together, after which you can run an overall refinement. And if you have control points, you can additionally georeference your point cloud file and report on your results. Georeference point cloud is available also as a standalone command. It's very similar to georeference image. You select your point clouds and you match up the point cloud data with the control point data. And it's important to know that if you're working with a third-party point clouds data, that data won't scale, unlike the SX10 data, which will follow the scaling rules. If you're working with the SX10 system uh, and you have followed the survey workflow where you have taken the backsites and foresights and did the station setups, you can convert these what we call survey stations into scan stations. Once you have data in your scan stations, you can more freely register those data and move them around, versus if the data is following the survey rules with backsites and foresights, it will follow more strict survey rules and traverse adjustment, network adjustment rules that you are used to when you're working with your total station data. Virtual DR is one of our favorite new features that really leverages the combination of scanning and imaging. In the case where you don't have a dense scan and you didn't get the scan exactly to capture the location that you wanted, you have a nail, like in this case in a bridge, or you have a corner of a building. In that case, you can leverage the combination of scan and images. So from an image, you can select the pixel representing the corner or the discrete point you want to capture, and then from the surrounding point cloud, we can get the distance. So from image, we get horizontal and vertical angle since the images are calibrated, and then from the point clouds, you get the distance, and with those two pieces of information or three pieces of information, we can get the 3D location of the picked object. Another favorite one of ours is the automatic ground extraction. So if you have a point cloud data With a single click of a command, you can get rid of all of the noise, like in this case where you have the highway with a lot of traffic going over the highway. You can simply extract all that noise, all those vehicles that are driving over the paved surface of the highway, and just get that bare surface. Automatic classification is essentially one step further, where in addition to ground, you can also extract buildings and poles and signs and high vegetation, really allowing you flexibility with point clouds and reducing the time that is required to clean up your point cloud project in order to arrive to the desired DTM models and deliverables. Also, if you're exporting point clouds to other software packages that don't handle as a big number of points, or for some reason you want to work with less points inside Trimble Business Center, you can use the sample point cloud region command and choose the sampling type as spatial or random sampling. If you're choosing the spatial sampling, you will define the spacing. In case of random sampling, you will define the total number of points that you want, and you can sample the point clouds. In case you are downsampling the point clouds, one of the commands you can use is to create CAD points from scan points. Since you have the CAD points, that can allow you some additional flexibility since you can label individual CAD points with the elevation, and you can easier manage them in a surface definition. Outside of the scanning module, we now colorize point clouds. So if you have point clouds from your VX, S7s, S9s, you will now get the color for those point clouds, as well as if you have the SX10, we perform the colorization inside Trimble Business Center. You can perform colorization on the import or colorize scans command. One thing to note, especially for the Trimble total stations that have scanning capabilities, such as S7, S9, or SX10, uh, when we talk about the true integration of scanning data and total station data, one of the things we are really proud of is that we combine that data effectively. So that means that scans behave like your total station observations. So you can see here the difference if you don't apply the scale factor, or if you don't apply the ppm corrections, how much off your DR shot would be from your scan data. And in this case, in Trimble Business Center, as we are applying the same corrections to our scan data as we are to the DR shots or reflectorless shots, we get perfect matching between those two type of observations. We have also enabled a number of tools to allow you to easy work with point clouds. So you can simply on the right click merge regions, name, add data from one region to another region, and making that point cloud data management as easy as possible. Also understanding that Trimble Business Center might not be your ultimate software of choice. We have enabled exporters that will allow you to both import and export data to other packages. Some of the new exporters are the Pod for Bentley and Recap for Autodesk, as well as PTS and PTX that you can use with your Leica software. We have enabled some additional user options to allow you to be more efficient when you work with point clouds, such as keeping the z-axis always up, limiting rotation in 3D view so you don't get upside down, reversing the zoom mouse wheel, and defining the center point of your rotation. In the aerial photogrammetry space, we have a big news here as we have brought the US Master to Trimble Business Center, allowing us to leverage all of the photogrammetric processes in the US Master, as well as bringing the third-party UAS support to Trimble Business Center. And US Master is now licensed with TBC aerial photogrammetry. So if you are already a user of TBC aerial photogrammetry, or you are going to become one, you will get the US Master capabilities at no additional cost. The workflow that we recommend is that in Trimble Business Center you set up all of your coordinate systems and your environments, and you can simply use the send to US master command inside TBC, which will launch the US master utility, in which you can follow all of the photogrammetric processing steps and generate your deliverables. Once you're done with those deliverables, you can use the send back to TBC command in the US master and get all of your deliverables in Trimble Business Center, where you can work further on those to define your end deliverables. We have also upgraded the US processing engine, so with the US master integration, you get a significantly faster processing and increased point cloud accuracy. With that, I want to thank you for your attention and hope you have a great success using Trimble Business Center Office software.